Yeah, I think I'm live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to a whole new edition of podcasting at its finest, Warfare City Podcast Wrestling, here tonight on an elite episode. You know, we got a lot of things to talk about. And, you know, let's talk about the first pay-per-view that WCW had. I mean, for the love of God, I mean, Gauntlet Rumble was a successful pay-per-view. I mean, we start off with a few matches, and then we go on to the upper matches, which I didn't see Cowboy John enter in that Gauntlet Rumble. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about Iceman or Feck or, you know, Tyler, but I'm telling you, I was pretty hyped to just even call him the card for that pay-per-view. I mean, it was just absolutely just electrifying being in Saudi Arabia for that event. Just being a part of it, you know, it was just breathtaking. I mean, you know, some of the matches, you know, the Universal Championship match between Iceman. I mean, before the match, I went backstage to talk to Iceman about the match, and, you know, Iceman said he was a little bit on, you know, he was not feeling home with the match, but, you know, Iceman said for the fans he's going to put on a show, and to be honest, I mean, Iceman is actually in this podcast today with me, and Iceman can explain to you the feeling he had walking in against the former Universal Champion, Feck, and beating him to win that title and potentially go on to WrestlePalooza as the main event player in that matchup top. And, you know, Iceman, I got to question you. How are you feeling after you beat Feck at the pay-per-view, walking out the brand new Universal Champion?
Well, I gotta say it was a tough match, but I came out victorious.
And then here's what I want to ask, and I know Feck is also listening in. Feck, how do you feel walking out of that pay-per-view, knowing that you did not win and retain your Universal Championship, but putting on a performance match with Iceman? How do you feel about that match?
Well, you know, it is what it is. I lost, came up short. All I have to say is congrats to the Iceman.
And I mean, this show that we just had in Omaha, Nebraska, I mean, I want to clarify this with you fans that was just watching the show. I mean, I didn't expect Iceman to just full out retaliate his own brother on the show. Iceman, I know there's a lot of feud going after that pay-per-view match you and Feck had, and after that match, we saw your brother taking a flaming table, putting you through that table, and then putting insult to injury where it's worse, putting you through one of the announce tables before the show went off air.
I can tell you about that. I didn't see it coming. It was just a sneak attack from behind.
I mean, I don't know what made him do it. I mean, is it because you guys did not win the tag team championships? That's what a lot of people are saying. I don't know what caused Killer C to plan such a brutality attack and a hellacious attack against you. I mean, first of all, I want to ask you, how do you feel after that pay-per-view, knowing that your brother done that and just shocking the whole system in that pay-per-view?
Well, always listen blood turned against me. So I think he's jealous of my success, but I am working and he's.
I mean, to be honest,
I think it's just jealousy.
I mean, to be honest, I was sitting backstage with you before the show, and you and your brother was cool. It was like, you know, it was like you guys had that brotherly bond, and before the show went off air, I mean, I was sitting in the back shocked as hell that this happened. I mean, you know, for the dear love of God, I mean, your brother comes out of nowhere, puts you to a flaming table, and then puts you through an announce table. I don't know what caused your brother to do that, but I'm sure that you're going to get retribution and payback at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time when I do.
I mean, you know, let's talk about the World Tag Team Champions, which are the Heritage Tag Team Champions, Cowboy John and Chris Clark, for a minute. I mean, they defended the titles, but tonight, Chris gets attacked by J-Max out of nowhere. I mean, Chris, I know you're in the chat. I know you're listening. I don't know how you're feeling after the attack, but can you explain to me, why do you think J-Max had to put his pinpoint on you and just attacked you out of nowhere?
Because he knows the Outlaw Bandits is the best tag team champions ever.
May I add to that?
I mean, Feck, if you want to add to this, this is the podcast. Express your opinion in character. As long as you guys don't go out of character, you know, this is what it's for. This is how you run a true E-Fed behind the scenes.
Alright, I got two things. Well, I don't know why Killer C did what he did. That will be revealed after. But well, Bandits being the best tag team out there.
I mean, I want to actually, you know, a question that came to my mind just now since you mentioned that, Feck, is, you know, I want to know how the general manager is feeling, Tyler, after watching what Killer C just done to Iceman. I mean, that was shocking. I mean, it shocked the whole world that watched that pay-per-view. I mean, Tyler, can you give us a little input or your opinions about that?
My input, watching the Gauntlet Rumble, how it transpired, I was shocked to see Killer C attack Iceman like he did, putting through that flaming table, and then putting through the announce table. But that was the shocker of the night. And it's still the shocker of WCW to this day, right now.
I mean, there's a lot of matches that I got to call personally during that event, especially the Royal Gauntlet match, which was Aaron Rage winning the 2020 Man's Gauntlet. That was a huge shocker.
Yes,
I mean,
that was a shocker. I agree.
I mean, Aaron Rage, I mean, he's been dominant in WCW, and he's also been dominant over your E-Fed, which is Here's Fury Pro Wrestling.
Yep. But adding back to that tag team thing, Outlaw Bandits, you say that you're the best, but when that pay-per-view happens, you'll see who's the best. Because me and Red have tricks up our sleeve.
You know, I can remember before we started this E-Fed, we did an E-Fed over on Twitter, and, you know, doing the first show, getting it set up, just, it was a little bit challenging because you didn't have all these things that WWE 2K20 had compared to what I was using at the time was 2K16. And, you know, just looking at the different graphics of the game, I mean, I think that was part of the reason why the pay-per-view was so successful, just because of the graphical details and how the storylines were run and organized by the upper management. Just made it come real. I mean,
I agree.
I've just watched the pay-per-view, and I'm going to say this to myself, just watching it by myself. I didn't think Iceman's brother would come out and attack Iceman after he won the Universal Championship. I mean, that was
still, like
just...
I said, that still shocks me.
And I mean, you watch this show that we just had. I mean, look at what J-Max did to Chris. Throws him off of the production truck. I didn't even know J-Max was going to make a return.
I was shocked to see J-Max make his return to lunatic of violence. The lunatic. Yeah,
I mean, we talk about all this happening in the E-Fed. I mean, you know, there's another thing that caught my eye in the match was when Feck getting attacked by James Hunter.
That's James Hunter.
That's James Hunter. I want to talk about James Hunter. Let me tell you, James.
I mean, I don't know what the Hunter brothers got planned. I mean, I've just heard rumors and speculations that they are going after the Heritage Tag Team Champions, and I know the Outlaw Bandits are listening to what's going on, but can the Outlaw Bandits somehow turn this Triple Threat Tornado Tag Team title match and retain the tag team titles at the pay-per-view? I don't know if they can do it. I mean, seeing what the Hunter brothers did to Feck and Red, I mean, I don't think the Outlaw Bandits will hold on to the tag team championships if they can't stop the powerful force with the Hunter brothers.
I think that's correct. If they can't stop it, I totally agree.
I mean, you look at Iceman, I mean, you know, he's got to defend the title against his own brother, and I've just come to find out that it's actually a triple threat match for that match.
Well, like they said, Plan B. You can't win, join them. That's all I have to say.
You know, and I know me and Tyler and Feck has been in this business for a while, doing e-fetting together in different companies and, you know, each other's companies, and, you know, we basically want to make this fun and entertainment for you guys. We don't want to try to bring in toxic people, which I'm not going to mention. Well, Diva actually said it better, garbage. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, you look at it, and we're not going to try to go stoop to their level. They can keep calling us out, but we ain't going to respond to them.
We don't have to.
But the fact of the matter is, I mean, you know, back to the e-fetting thing, me, Tyler, and Feck has done e-fetting for a while. I mean, we done e-fetting when e-fetting was absolutely fun. I mean, I remember the time when Tyler owned one of the companies, and I became its youngest world heavyweight champion in my e-fed career. And it still stands today as the youngest world heavyweight champion.
Agree.
And you know, I remember some historical matches that I got to actually have in the e-fed career against my, you know, good friend Matt Outlaw. I mean, good God Almighty, Matt Outlaw is a hardcore expert. I mean, he will take a chair and bend it across your back just to keep any championships that you faced him. You know, I remember another match that Tyler had on his show that became match of the year with Matt Outlaw. Just, you know, shocked the freaking system. I mean, Matt Outlaw was a brute in the hardcore division. I mean, I remember, you know, coming to the show of Tyler's, and Tyler would sit down and talk to us, say, listen, this is what's going to happen tonight. You know, Matt Outlaw is going to face him. CJ, since you're the world champion, you're going to be facing him. And, you know, I remember sitting down with these guys and just, you know, plotting the shows and learning how to book the shows just by these guys. Yep. And, you know, here on the Future Evolution Gaming, we are not going to put up with people that's just wanting to be power hungry. I mean, I'm just going to pinpoint that out. If you're going to think you're going to try to join this eFed just because you want to gain a little bit of power, well, I'm just going to be honest with you. I created this eFed, and I am daggone sure this eFed is not going to be power hungry to any eFed superstars. So, in other words, if you want to join, you're going to come to me directly. And if you don't want to join, then basically, like one of my favorite wrestlers would say, as Beer Money Incorporated would say, sorry about your damn luck.
Right. That is true. But
and actually, I just talked to Beer Money, and they actually going to come to WCW for tag team. So James Storm and Robert Roode are going to come back as Beer Money Incorporated. And Chris, I'm just going to be the one to inform you, at the next house show, you're defending the tag team titles against Beer Money Incorporated.
Okay.
And I've just received word that James Storm just said, Chris, sorry about your damn luck.
Well, I've just been informed, like, a good friend of mine wants to join as well. We all know him. By the name of Congo.
And I want to be honest here for a second. There's a lot of things that I think about that I've done in the past, and I'm just going to say this live on air. For people that I offended, that I hurt their feelings because I done Tyler wrong, I understand why you don't want to join Tyler's company, but I will publicly apologize here on YouTube like a man and say I'm truly sorry for the thing that I done.
Yeah. Like a man. That's what you're supposed to do as a man. Apologize.
So there it is, here on live.
Yep. There you go.
I apologize. I accept your apology.
So I'm just going to put that straight for the people that are truly Tyler's fans and actually, come to his eFed and watch. But for my eFed, I'm doing things a whole lot differently than I done last time that I ran an eFed. You come in this company, you're not going to ask for title shots. If you do, you're banned and out of here.
No, title shots are earned. Titles are earned.
You start anything with Tyler, myself, Chris, Cody, and they come and tell me, guess what? You're banned and out.
Or me.
And Feck or Diva, you mention any one of those of my friends, and you will be out of this eFed pronto.
And no way come back.
Yeah, once we fire you, it's not like we're going to be so desperate that we're going to take you back. So just think about that before you guys decide to plan your plots.
Not gonna take me back. We had someone test that button.
But here's what I want to explain. You see, when I gave Cowboy John power as commissioner, his job is to do simply these things. Take out any toxic people that is trying to bring my eFed down and make this one of the greatest eFed shows that I have ever done in my whole eFed career as a booker, as a gamer expert, and as everything that I've ever done a part of any eFed.
Yep.
Now, may I add to this? Like, I know you were just talking about the past, like, your greatest feuds that you all had. Well, I gotta say, I had a great run with Lucas. There's one gun and Lucas left. And let me tell you, it was a fun ride with him.
I mean, to be honest, the greatest feud I ever had in eFedding would pretty much have to go down as me and Phoenix Cruz.
Yeah, that was the great.
That was the
one of
most
greatest rivalries.
exciting match that I've got to perform in e-fetting for you fans. And I'm just going to say this as part of the e-fetting, that I know I'm almost at my highest peak of my e-fed career. And I am going to officially say this here on WCW. I am worrying about my own e-fed, which means CJ Mondo, as you guys know, is retiring from the e-fed world.
In which CJ Mondo has its final match on Hell's Fury Pro Wrestling as his retirement match.
And on top of that, I want to say something. I want to the name Zach is now retired. Like the old Zach, he's done. He's now trying to go into the
And that don't mean I just focus on my company. I will help Tyler, Iceman, Chris, whoever's doing the show. I will be backstage, playing a backstage role, helping the other talent. So,
just like me, Beast Black, I've done it all in the E-Fed world. I've won every major title you probably could think of. I've held it. I've done it all.
I mean, for this year, I just thought about it. I just thought about something that actually would be memorable for my career. In the E-Fed world.
I want me versus CJ.
You see, there's a championship that I didn't get to hold in my own company, which is called the Legendary Championship. So at WrestlePalooza, me versus Beast Black for the Legendary Championship at WrestlePalooza.
Like I said, WrestlePalooza will be my final match in the E-Fed world. Why? Because I brought in Adrian Hunter, James Hunter, and R-Train.
And another thing
over my career.
I want to get off my chest here, that I know some people are going to be watching this and not going to accept apology, but I'm just going to tell you as a man, people makes mistakes.
That is correct. We all make mistakes. We're all not perfect in this world.
We're never perfect. There's no such thing as perfect.
Not perfect. None of us are.
At WrestlePalooza, I want to take a moment to call out this one guy who not stole, he attacked me so I could lose that title right away. We're gonna see what I'm capable of. So I won't stop at nothing.
I want to do something here before we end the live. I want to do something that's never been done in e-fetting history. For the first time in WrestlePalooza, I want to do Hell's Fury Pro Wrestling and WCW as a cross-branded event.
Oh my god.
Interesting.
Alright.
As the WrestlePalooza will be named under one network, Worldwide Elite Wrestling, WEW.
What channel would it be on?
This one. It's just a cross-branded.
And now I want to get to another subject tonight. Adrian Hunter, we just got his picture here, and he basically attacked James Rose after the show went off air.
Holy crap, he did. There's the proof.
And I want to address this as the owner of this eFed. Now, James Rose and Adrian Hunter has to stop these attacks until the pay-per-view. If one of these two people attacks, their team is eliminated from the tag team title match.
Well, let me take it back to that tag team match. If I lose, plan B. They always say, can't beat them, join them. That's all I have to say, Red.
Now, I want to do one more thing before we get off air. We just had a moment here. The general manager here, Tyler the Beast Black, and here is actually Tyler the Beast Black here on the show. So Tyler the Beast Black is going to tell us what's expected of the entire roster for WCW and the upcoming pay-per-views that follow.
Wow. Yes, I agree with the owner, CJ, here, that Adrian Hunter and James Hunter, they will quit their attacks on Beck and James Rose. They will quit their attacks. If they're not, they're going to end up losing an opportunity at the Heritage Tag Team titles. And that goes for Beck and James Rose as well. They cannot even touch Adrian or James until that tag team title match. And guess what we're putting in state? A no touching clause. So what do you think of that, Beck? That means you or James Rose cannot touch Adrian or James Hunter, and those two can't touch you two until
And also,
Barbed Wire Chamber.
They're holding something that I like.
actually, I want to do something also. You see, I know Cowboy John and Chris are holding the Heritage Tag Team Championships, but also at that pay-per-view, that Tornado Tag Team match has become a Tornado Tag Team Triple Threat ladder match for the Heritage Tag Team Championships.
Ladder match is right. And also, I heard word that there's going to be a brawl at Barbed Wire Chamber. It's going to be at the compound. You're looking at the compound there. Yes, these two superstars are going to the compound.
Who is it? I guess Gabriel.
The first competitor is Gabriel. Yes, Gabriel's going to the Beast compound. And the second competitor
Death Shadow.
is his rival, Death Shadow.
And now we talk about one more thing before we close the air off. Of these footage of J-Max attacking Chris Clark backstage. I don't know what
Chris,
the...
Chris, how do you respond to J-Max attacking you with this footage?
James should not put his hands on me.
I think that should be a rule too for them as well.
So we're gonna figure out.
J-Max has a special, because J-Max will have a special match.
Actually, to be honest, that special match, I just found him a great opponent since he wants to pick fights with our tag team champions. And this man is called the Bruiserweight among men for no reason.
Big John Bundy.
Big John Bundy, the Braun Strowman of this eFed.
Yeah, who won my Canadian title tonight?
The Canadian Championship was not on air. But it will be on next show, so stay tuned for that.
Well,
Yeah, we'll
whoever
be on the next
has
show.
that title, look out.
But also one more match that I'm going to book for this hellacious pay-per-view for Barbed Wire Chamber. 6-man ladder match for the Extreme Bank. That means you get a 1-year opportunity to face the World Universal Champion up to a year.
Yep. You get 1 year to face the champ.
So that will be all for the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next show on WCW. You will be amazed.